What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Aubrey and I are gonna go on a little adventure today, and we're bringing the boy. All right, Nico, let's go.
Go, 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 go. Go in the car. No, no, no.
Up, up, up. In the car.
In the car.
In this car. In this car, good boy.
So January is one of my least favorite months of the year for two different reasons. Number one is it is by far the lowest earning month for YouTube. The CPM for YouTube dives like a tank in January because advertisers have already spent all of their money in December, so they cut back in January. But secondly is because it's also a very hit or miss month for Turo as well, and it typically is one of the slowest months of the year. As a result, cars are sitting longer than they typically do, which actually takes more logistical planning than it would if cars were just going out consistently. So right now we have 3 cars sitting at the lot, and we now have to go check them in because they've been sitting for over 24 hours. Hi Nico, what are you doing? Man, it is cold outside. Let's go inside. So on the subject of Turo and the month of January, that brings the topic up of the $2,000 host incentive that Turo announced over the summer. In fact, we did a video on this whenever it was first released, and we've been getting a lot of DMs and comments from people asking us if we've heard anything about this.
Yeah, didn't we have like 9 cars last year? Where's our money?
We did, and we haven't heard a single thing about this, and there is a reason why, which I recently learned a couple of days ago from Turo customer support.
Open sesame. Now you might be wondering, why are we here? Somebody forgot to empty out the poo-poo tank from the last rental. Me.
Now, the RV has been a bit of a struggle in getting it to be as passive as possible. Like, it's really not passive at all as of right now, but that is one of our goals for this month, is to get all of the passive hands-off passivity procedures laid out, and one of those things involves us taking the RV to a campground this Tuesday. We're going to be doing a video on that in the coming week or so, so stay tuned. But we're super pumped, but part of that has to to now dump out the poop tank that really should have been dumped out a week ago.
That's
so
fine.
We'll see. Hello, Nico. Nico.
Inside.
Nico.
Inside.
Hello.
He's like, I remember this place. I hate it.
Now, one thing that we did do with the RV so far is I basically created this tub that has everything we need in order to turn over the RV for its next rental. So we have clean towels in here, clean bed sheets, clean comforter, clean plates, cups, cleaning items, and then also some dirty laundry bags as well. I love organization, so this is something that I was super pumped about, but this is something that I think will really help the turnover, and so it's really just trying to develop these processes, which are getting there, but they're not quite there yet.
You heard?
Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the $2,000 per car host incentive that Turo announced over the summer, I'm gonna insert a couple of clips here from about 8 months ago that break this down a little bit. Last week, and we mentioned it in a video last week, Turo announced that they are doing a host incentive that could allow for some hosts to claim up to $2,000 per car that they list on Turo. But the details of this host incentive was recently announced, and let's just say it is a little misleading. So the way that Turo advertises this is the exact verbiage from the site. For each car you add to your portfolio of up to 5 cars, we'll give you an earnings boost of up to $2,000 on top of the earnings that specific car generates from July 1st to December 31st, 2021. So basically what that means is that what's gonna happen is if you list a new car on Turo from between now, July 1st to December 31st, so between now and the end of the year, Turo will calculate how much money that car made and then they will give you an earnings boost based off of the money that their card generated. Now, whenever this host incentive was announced, we were pretty pumped about it. I think there were a lot of hosts that were excited about the potential opportunity of earning $2,000 extra per car. I mean, like HP said a few moments ago, we added 9 cars this year, so we should theoretically have earned $18,000 if this was the case. But a really big and important keyword was the up to $2,000. And that up to seems to be something that Turo really leaned on as a way to pay this out to as few of hosts as possible.
Excuse me. Excuse me, my love. Excuse me. Thank you.
So one of the things that they outlined in this that really played to the up to factor was the fact that they didn't just give you $2,000. It was actually based off of how much your car earned. And I don't remember the exact specifics, but I did the math over the summer, and you would basically have to earn anywhere between $30,000 and $40,000 on one single car in order to get that $2,000 bonus, which I've been on Turo now for 4 years. I mean, we've spoken to a lot of hosts. I personally don't know of anybody that does that amount on one single car. Maybe the exception would be like ultra luxury or exotic things like Lamborghinis, Rolls-Royce, and Bentleys, but those cars aren't even worth to list on Turo for the sake of getting $2,000. So the incentive from that regard was kind of ridiculous, and I think that caveat really got people discouraged pretty quickly because it became apparent that the $2,000 was pretty unattainable.
Now, Aubrey and I weren't planning on expanding our fleet because of this incentive that Turo had put out. We were already planning to have 2021 year to be a huge growth for our Turo fleet, and we actually viewed this as just pure icing on the cake. And with buying 9 cars, we highly expected to at least get some of that up to $2,000 bonus, but we don't have any yet.
So because of the fact that we were essentially in the second week of January, I decided to reach out to Turo customer support to see what the status of our host bonus was. Because though I didn't anticipate on earning much, I did anticipate on earning something. Because like HP said, we added 9 cars. And whenever I spoke to the Turo representative, that's whenever they informed me that I actually had to list a 2017 or newer in order to qualify. So all of the cars that we had listed this year actually didn't qualify for the host incentive. Now HP, do you remember that being a requirement of a 2017 or newer?
No, not at all.
Yeah, me neither. And so whenever I learned this from Turo support, I was taken a bit back. In fact, I was sure that this representative was wrong. But then whenever I looked on the Turo host incentive page and the requirements for this incentive, it actually was listed. Now, I'll include a screenshot of this here so that you can see it with your own 2 eyes. I'll also include a screenshot of the graphs, which you can show here, showing like how much you have to earn in order to earn a certain amount with this incentive. But I'm not going to insinuate or say that Turo changed the language of this incentive after they announced it, but I'm pretty sure that this was not a requirement at the point in time that this was announced, because in the video that I made over the summer, I was reading directly from the host incentive page, and I never once mentioned in that video that 2017 or newer was a requirement. And I feel like if it was a requirement back then, I would have mentioned it in the video, which I didn't.
So long story short, we didn't receive any bonus.
Yeah, 9 cars added, no bonus given, because none of the cars that we listed, not even our Maserati Ghibli, was a 2017 or newer. In fact, I would go as far to say that I don't think anybody got the full $2,000, and I personally don't know anybody that has received their bonus yet or has even gotten any word of their bonus as of yet. Now again, I could have potentially read the host incentive requirements incorrectly. Maybe I missed the 2017. And if that's the case, then I'm sure glad we didn't add any cars for this incentive, because we would be kicking ourselves right now given the fact that we didn't receive any bonus. But what I do think is that ultimately this bonus was a marketing ploy. And I think it probably did work because there are new hosts that heard about it through people like HP and I, and they signed up because they were excited to receive it. But I think that there are just simply too many caveats, too many disclaimers, too many pieces of fine print to really make this an applicable incentive for any host out there. And I think that it ultimately left a lot of hosts with a bad taste in their mouth because it was so inaccessible. And I think that from a experienced host perspective, I almost feel like they would have been better off not even doing this, because I know for me, it left more of a bad taste in my mouth than a good one, and I think that maybe it ended up backfiring. I don't know. So to answer the question that I've been receiving in a lot of comments and DMs from people, the answer to the question is no, we did not receive a host incentive, and I think ultimately a lot of people that were expecting one didn't receive one either because of some of the requirements that they weren't aware of. So we did not receive anything because of that 2017 requirement, even though we met all the requirements for everything else.
And to those of you that did add a 2017 or newer vehicle onto the Turo platform last year, let us know if you guys did receive some of that incentive that came out, and if you guys are willing to share some money, throw it our way too. Guys, as always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next episode.